Well, welcome back. Bob here for the Old Iron Lover channel, and I've got a project today. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube and been outside building a deck. And sound like the weather is turning cold and I'm almost done, so I'm going to quit for the winter and start working in here some more. So today's project is one of those no good deeds goes unpunished, maybe, or anyway, I was helping my son-in-law with his car. He had a power steering pump go out, and fairly straightforward to replace power steering pump. It had a pair of poly V belts that were, one of them runs the air conditioner, one of them runs everything else. The simple thing to do is just loosen up the belts, pop them off, undo the hoses to the pump, and 3 mounting bolts in the back, swap it out, put everything back together. Well, in the process of taking it apart, some bozo got a hold of the slack adjuster for the air conditioning side, put an air wrench, a little butterfly wrench on the adjuster to loosen up the bolt, and proceeded to loosen up the belt without loosening up the lock first, and now it came apart. So that is our project for today, is instead of going down and buying one from Subaru, is to build a new one, because I don't like the idea that it's plastic to begin with. Take this apart. And the part we're after is this. And it goes together something like that. And it basically sits on top of here. This little ring protrudes a little bit out off the bottom of the plastic piece. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a little bit of a lip right here. That keeps the plastic piece from dragging on the hub here. So we'll need to reproduce that. And then the dimensions here, as far as from center of this to center of this, and the height and all that stuff, the thickness, some of the dimensions are reasonably critical, some of them aren't. So started out looking at just making a thick washer and welding a block on there with a threaded hole in it. The washers were becoming a nuisance. I didn't have any really good washers that were the right size and everything. And after I got looking closely and seeing that little lip there, that lip is important because it has to ride on this inner race, and we want to elevate this whole thing up so it's not dragging on anything, which currently I have backwards. There we go. See, now it's riding on the, so the wheel can, the pulley can spin, and this piece isn't dragging. So the plan here is to take this piece of 1.5 inches and turn a piece or bore it for this size hole, put a little face it off to where we have just this little lip here riding on the inner race, and then set it up where I can hold it in the lathe, I can hold it in the milling machine, or whatever I need to do to work on it. So that said, I'm not going to draw a picture. We kind of see how this thing develops as we go along. So we're going to basically make two parts. We're going to make this piece here, the round piece with the little lip on it and all that, and then we'll make a block with a hole in it threaded, and then we'll fit the two together and weld them up. Probably have to grind them, because grind the welds, because as we put this in here, it has just a very little bit of clearance alongside the bracket, so we have to make sure we allow enough room for that to slide smoothly. Not much of a project, but it does kind of speak to the order of doing things and kind of thinking out how you're going to hold things ahead of time. So we're going to get it set up over at the lathe, and we'll come back in just a minute. Take another little facing cut here because I did relocate it in the jaws. We're going to take about a 50,000ths cut on each pass here. Get the set up to auto feed. Okay, here we go. Now the auto feed gear train's a little noisier, so you probably may not be able to hear me talking as well, but we'll play that by ear. Gonna take about 50,000ths cut. It's a bit noisy, so let's switch over to a different speed and see if we can improve on that. Okay, advance it another 50,000ths. I got rid of the chatter. And this is going to go on for quite a while, so we'll probably not show it all on camera. Yeah, 904 is our destination. And we are currently at 9035. I guess we'll quit there. That was luck. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is finish facing that off there, because that is going to be a finished surface. And then we'll get that in there. Then we're going to bore it, and that's pretty much it. We can switch it around end for end, then trim off the just the outer diameter, make it look okay, and face off the other end to the right thickness. And that thickness is not at all critical. It just needs to be, you know, kind of in the ballpark. So take the lead screw out of gear, quiet it down a little bit. Touch off those just so lightly. Okay. Let's get a chuck mounted in the tailstock, and we'll start drilling a little hole there. And this old lathe is in pretty good shape. But one thing that is got a little bit of wear in it is the tailstock. The bore versus the actual spindle of the tailstock. So it's kind of a little workaround for that. Is just come up on it real slow. If you go too fast, it takes a little jump. So if we just touch it, so we get a little bit of a dimple going. Just need enough to get a drill started. Probably run a little 1/4 inch or so pilot hole down there. Okay, now the idea of that hole is 0.672. .672 is 43/64 on the money, so that's going to work out fine. Okay, we should have our outer diameter right, our inner diameter right, and the thickness of this little, this is the boss that's going to sit on the inner race of the bearing. That'll be all wrong because it's way too long. When we get all done, we'll take that little bit off. But for now, we're going to use it as a handle to get onto the other side here, and turn it and turn the actual outer part of that washer down to its final size. All we're doing is turning the outside down to something kind of like the original had, and getting the thickness of the thin part of the washer, which is 0.191. So we want this to be 191, and this we need to be cleaned up. what I was talking about, the order of your operations, you can see right now, with if I had to cut that little boss to the right depth from the other direction, I wouldn't have had anything to hang on to this with. So this gives me a handy tool. So let's take this down to just a fit. It didn't have to fit anything. It's just cleaning up. More cosmetic than anything. Let's just take about 15 and call it good, I think. Okay, and again, this diameter really doesn't matter much, so take a little facing cut here, and then we'll measure for our, we'll break the edges, and we'll measure for our thickness and see what we need to take off to get down to 191. One more little bit there. Okay, let's see what we got left to get down to 191 here. We're sitting at 299. So we need to get at least another 100 thousandths off. Get the dial on it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a let's take it easy. Let's go with a 30 thousandths cut here first. See how much chatter we get. That's another 30. And another 30. That should get us in the ballpark. Now we'll get another measurement, see how we're close we're coming. We're about 207. We need to go to 191, which means we got to take 16 more off. Is that right? Be 9 and 7 is 16, yeah. So let's just grab it all in one chunk here. And again, not critical. Not real critical. I mean, this one should be in the ballpark. Okay, here we go. $192, that's within a thousandth, and I think we will stay right there because 191, 192, it doesn't really matter on this part. So I want to break this pretty good. I think I'll just grab a tool for chamfering that. The original was plastic and it was very rounded right there. I don't think it really needs to be, but just aesthetics again. After all, somebody might want to look at the front end of my son-in-law's engine one day and say, golly, that wasn't chamfered very well. Okay, we are all set here. Now the last thing we need to do is to get the, last thing we need to do is trim it off right down in here so that the thickness on the inside of this piece is 2 something, I don't remember. 219. 219. So we're actually looking at a 28. Looking at a 28 thousandths boss there to rub against the, or to press against the inner race of the bearing. So I moved it out a little bit so I can break that edge a little better. Stretch my cord a little here. Now we'll part it off where we want it and clean up the edge of that, and we'll call it good. So what I think I will do is bring my dial back in. And do is I'm going to take just a little pass here, not cut all the way through or anything, and see how thick that piece is, and then I'll just move over the right amount to get it just right. So. I think that may be enough. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we're at 292. 72. Let's just go with that. Mic back on again. Parted off the reel this time. There you have it. Of course, it's got a little bit of a edge to clean up, but it looks like it came out just perfect. We'll get off to building the threaded block next. I'm down to making a block that this dimension is going to be 780 thousandths. We're 793. We want to be 780, so we take 13 thousandths more off and we're done. Okay, here we go. I went up too far. $13 thousandths. $779. So we're a thousandth too thin. I guess we can live with that. And while I'm at it, I'm going to face up this here because I want to make a cube or something that resembles a cube. Take a 20 thousandths cut. See what that does for us. did a pretty good job. Okay, we're shooting for 525 on this one, and we're starting out at about 1 inch, so we got 475 to go. I'll take a couple hundredths off this side, and we'll flip it over and take the rest off the other side. About a 50 thousandths cut on it. It's not the ideal setup for that mister, but at least it keeps the tool kind of cool. Another 50. $150. $200. Okay, let's get back and touch off again. Take 50 off and put the cooler back on. Got 594. So we need 69 more. We're at 546. 21 more. Okay, that's it for now. I'm going to go take it through the bandsaw and cut off a chunk off the end, and we'll start doing the milling on the last side. And then we'll drill a hole, tap it, and get set up to weld it onto the washer. Okay, well, while we were over there, I lopped this piece off. I marked my 625 thousandths just to give me a sanity check, and I also marked off the dimensions to the center of the hole that we're going to drill and tap. Okay, we'll touch off here. Okay, let's just take a little cleanup cut, about 15 thousandths or so. We are 680, so we need to go 55 more. There's 27. There's 55. Okay, now we're going to kind of clean up here, and then let's get set up to drill it and tap it. Okay, I've got it deburred, and I've got everything lined up here on the dimple there for the hole. And I don't know if I have enough travel, so I'm going to raise this up just a little bit. Just let's see. I have about 1 inch of travel left, which should be plenty. That should be plenty. Okay, now we need our tap, pretty straight actually. Should have full depth threads there. Go blow this out real quick. Okay, threads on and off like it's supposed to. The last step is to weld the two pieces together and try it out. So I'm going to move things around and get back to the camera in a little bit here. Okay, that just about finishes this project. We had the washer here with a little boss on it that rubs against there, that seats against the inside race on this bearing, kind of space everything up so it's not dragging on everything else. And we have the block that we drilled and tapped. We had to go away from the metric 8mm left hand thread to a 5/16 right hand thread in order to get taps and dies readily that could work. Anyway, TIG welded the two together and then had to radius this a little bit to clear this inside diameter of the pulley, and that's what we got right there. So now we reassemble it and give it back to the son-in-law. Okay, the little lock nut that needs to be unlocked when you adjust this. There we go, and that thing is ready to go back. Thanks as always for watching. If you like it, subscribe. Please leave nice comments, or constructive ones maybe. Got 3 or 4 more already in the works. I'll try to get some more of them out here pretty soon. Anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing. As Old Iron Lover saying so long till next one.